Let's figure this out. First, we take care of the stragglers. Mr. Mercury, you distract that acolyte with your fish, so Gale can snatch him from behind. When that one wanders out of sight, I'll take him down. The last one, I leave to you, Mr. Mercury.
Aye, aye.
Now those three can wield Maiden's Fire, so we have to take them down together. Then we grab what we came for and hightail it back to the ship. Let's do it.
Wait.
What?
What about the High Priest?
Oh, just give him a hug.
Okay, love that plan.
So I remember unlocking Isabelle Moreau as a character in Desperados 3 and suddenly being able to use actual voodoo magic in what was, up to that point, a fairly straightforward western themed stealth strategy game. Until her inclusion it was bear traps and shotguns, bowie knives and throwing dynamite, and then after her inclusion all I could think about was that I wish developer Me would lean into that supernatural element a little bit more, and boy howdy if that's not what they've done in Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew. This is like Pirates of the Caribbean by way of isometric stealth, as your ragtag crew of undead scallywags take to the high seas in pursuit of trouble, treasure, and maybe a little bit of rest. Pursued by the forces of a self-righteous Inquisition and the sadist leading them, your target is the treasure of Black-Eye Mordachai, the now fully dead former captain of the Red Marley, a sentient galleon with a love of riddles. You play primarily as Afia Manicato, a cursed pirate with a sword in her chest that allows her to teleport short distances and freeze individuals in time. It's her job to resurrect the crew of the Marley and lead them to victory, but it's far from an easy task. To bring back each crew member, you'll need a levy of soul energy and a magical black pearl, which you load into a flintlock and shoot into their heart. So ingrained is Me's development style that it's hard to talk about Shadow Gambit without making comparisons to Desperados 3 and even Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun, but even comparisons to those two stealth masterpieces aren't enough to overshadow this latest adventure. Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew takes Me's talent for devious level design and dastardly challenge to another level. Where Desperados 3 had you unlock the various characters in a certain order and then crafted its levels around skills it knew you possessed, Shadow Gambit goes one step further. Not only are there now 8 characters to unlock, but the order in which you unlock them and who you take on a given mission is largely up to you. As a result, each mission has been crafted in such a way that it's possible with any combination of 3 characters and all the special abilities, strengths and limitations they possess. What this does from a gameplay perspective is hard to quantify, given that certain characters make some elements much easier and others much harder. Even simply mastering your favourites won't work either, as every time you start to get too comfortable, a story mission or development will force your hand and push you right out of that comfort zone. Each mission is hugely vertical, filled with hiding places, secret passages, bushes to hide in and towers to climb. There's a sense that nothing is accidental here. Every play space feels meticulously structured to ensure you've just the right amount of time to pull off something ridiculously daring, and if it fails, the quick load is only a button press away. As with Desperados 3, Shadow Gambit wants you to fail and fail again until you nail the objective. To facilitate this, the quick save mechanic is weaved into the story, as the Red Marley uses time manipulation to capture and unleash recent memories, allowing you to retry over and over again until you get it right. Higher difficulties remove the option if you want them to, but most will use this system liberally. Because ultimately these games are built on trial and error. You won't know if something will work until you try it, and only by experimenting will you learn enough to go back and nail those speedruns and pacifist playthroughs. There aren't quite as many extracurricular challenges as there were in Desperados 3, but you don't need them. This is the longer, tougher and genuinely more creative experience. For example, Quartermaster John Mercury comes armed with a magical anchor and most of a fish named Sir Reginald. The latter can distract guards for a moment, while the former allows John to enter the below, a mystical other dimension that lets him resurface anywhere in a given area. He can even drag guards down with him for an instant kill and hide the corpse. Then there's the ship's one-armed cook, Toya of Iga, who can whistle to attract patrolling guards and deploy an origami doll that allows him to teleport to it and kill whatever's in range. Or consider Salady, the ship's doctor, who can conjure bushes and use a foul-smelling dust to chase guards from their post. Each of the 8 characters is wholly unique, and while some share common uses, hiding bodies and distracting guards, etc., their methods differ wildly, meaning no group of 3 will ever play the same or have access to the same strategies. Each of their undead superpowers comes with enough of a weakness to prevent them feeling too imbalanced, be that a cooldown, limited range, or even the time it takes to use it. Some, like Teresa's long-range sniper crossbow, only have one use unless you retrieve the ammo or item. All your characters can be upgraded using soul energy, unlocking an additional move, but this is the one place that Shadow Gambit kind of falters. Earning enough XP to upgrade takes a ridiculously long time, meaning you likely won't earn enough XP to unlock everyone's new ability in a single playthrough. It's such a long slog that I forgot it was even a factor at times, and when I did unlock something new, I'd spent so long without it that I never used it. You can earn more XP by leaving crew members on the bench, which earns them vigour to improve their overall performance, but even this feels like a bit of a shoo-in that's easy to forget about. One thing that doesn't feel shoehorned in is the story. Unlike Desperado 3's fairly rote cowboy tale, Shadow Gambit's supernatural pirate fable is colourful, fresh and intriguing. No simple tale of revenge on the man who shot your pa, this instead features a darkly comic tone and just enough nuance to keep you guessing. The characters too are well written and acted, never fully dropping into cliché territory, though some of them circle that particular whirlpool fairly closely. In between missions you can take part in crew tales, non-combat scenarios that see you following simple clues from objective to objective on the Marley's deck. If anything, I'd have liked more challenge in these, as they're very simple and don't require much thought or effort, and are really just little sea tales to flesh out the crew. Although there's plenty of challenge in the missions themselves. Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew is a big game and only gets bigger in the third act when you unlock a whole new set of missions pertaining to each character's personal backstory. Add those to the existing quest for Black Pearls and Soul Energy and the story missions and training challenge rooms, and there's a lot of game to sail through. Often featuring changeable parameters and multiple paths to victory, each mission has the potential to be truly taxing, not least due to the enemy variety. While you'll see the same soldiers and priests regularly, the abilities they bring to the table can create a catalogue of horrors in some missions. Because each mission is essentially a heist, you'll always be looking for ways to outsmart or avoid the enemy. There are snipers with huge view cones, zealots who won't leave their position no matter the situation, and even high-ranking prognosticars who require 2 crew members in tandem to take down. While we're on that, the showdown mode returns from Desperados 3, whereby you can pause the game to select attacks, moves and actions, and then press a single button to have all 3 crewmates execute their commands simultaneously. It never ever stops feeling cool to take out 3 cards at once, or even larger groups if you're quick enough off the draw and have made liberal use of distraction techniques. For completionists, each mission area has optional badges attached that are rewarded for hitting certain milestones and objectives. At the end of each mission, you'll be treated to a time-lapse video of the map showing your every move, minus the save scumming. It's also worth pointing out that this plays great on controller. I originally began with mouse and keyboard, which is certainly great for precision, but I found the free movement easier on controller and soon got to grips with the simple scheme. It uses the left bumper for selecting skills and left trigger for aiming them, while the right bumper either cycles the crew members or allows you to select whoever you need to, either singly or in groups of 2 or 3. Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew is simply the best example of the genre Me helped create. It's one of those rare games that gives you all the tools and then delights in making you feel clever, not stupid. It's incredibly inventive, impeccably designed and superbly paced. It's also further proof, should you need it, that Me are the undisputed masters of stealth strategy. And for that reason, I'm going to score it a 10 out of 10. Hi there, hope you enjoyed that review of Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew from Me. If you did enjoy it, please hit like and subscribe, maybe tag that bell icon too, so you're kept up to date with everything we post going forward. In the meantime, I've been Mick Fraser for God is a Geek, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.